Hello and welcome everyone. So we are starting our new avenue at Empowering Science Foundation, and the series is named as Celebrities Researchers, Researchers Celebrities. So in this series, what we are going to do is we are going to interview our researchers and who we believe are celebrities now, and you all will be enjoy. I hope you all will enjoy this as Empowering Science Foundation want to break it. So our hashtag is breaking the barriers. We are trying to bring all these researchers among you so that you can understand that what it takes and how it feels to be a researcher even when you are not. So in this series, our first celebrity is Dr. Sandeep Kumar Dhanda, and he in the field of bioinformatics doesn't need much of the introduction, but still I would like to say a few words about Dr. Dhanda, that he is one of the gem of a person. It's not only in like personal, because I know him personally, but when we talk about professional achievements, he is the one who has edited so many who is editor in journals and helping the scientific community way beyond than bioinformatics in different fields. So with this, I would like to welcome Dr. Dhanda. Dr. Dhanda, very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so let's start with this conversation by how you choose, like, give us a brief background about you, and then we will take it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for the kind introduction, and thank you very much for having me. And I really appreciate for this kind of initiative where we are trying to reach out many students and who could be like benefited by this kind of conversation. I really appreciate this kind of initiatives, and thank you very much for having it one.
Welcome. All the pleasure is all ours, Dr. Dhanda. So would you like to tell something about your initial journey?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for kind of giving me an opportunity to talk about my journey itself. So in my journey, I'll start with my like very early phase. So I born in a joint farmers family in a small village in Haryana, and everyone in my family were busy with their farming. So there were not even single person who had been to the college before me. So that was kind of the journey I started with, and that also gave me kind of an option to explore by myself. So there was no one I could reach to in my family. So that was my triggering point, that I should reach to the people whom I can learn from, and that's where my journey start with exploration. And I think that's a basic kind of instinct for a scientist, that when you have your kind of enthusiasm to explore by yourself, only then you can do wonders in the science.
Absolutely. Thank you. And that is something what people in the field of bioinformatics are enjoying, that whatever your publications, your research work. And so if I have to tell to my audience, then I think Dr. Dhanda is the best person to inaugurate this series, as you just heard, that he is the one who just broke the barriers where nobody went to college. He's the one who it's not just about moving out of the village and reaching to college, all the way to United States, and now he is a research scientist. Let's talk about how this journey happened when you started from a village and now you are at St. Jude's hospital, cancer hospital.
Yeah. So it happened because of my exploratory nature, and with the nice circle that I got to kind of encircle in. And that's where it's all started. So I did all my education primarily from government schools and colleges, the nearest schools and colleges in my village. So like all my high school education were in my village only. Then I moved to nearest government school that was in Hisar district. And from there on, I was kind of expanding my circle and learning from them, like what are they doing and how I can also do the same thing, and how can I get into that kind of environment. So it started with that time. And after, like when I moved out of my village after my high school, So that was a time when I learned more about the science and the circle and how I can like find my niche there. So I'm also thankful to the people who are friend with me and who helped me and share their experiences. They also introduced me to the people who could help me and to understand my question or to give me a career path or a journey. So it all happened because of the nice people I got friend with.
That's interesting. So when you chose to move out of the village, how tough was that for you? Because as you said, you come from a joint family. And
Yeah.
then when you are going out, and I'm sure that there were not many people who were supporting that in a way that happens.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of difficult at different point. It was difficult at emotional point because I had never been to out of family. So that was difficult for me to stay out. It was also difficult because I was not used to do all the things by myself. There was like huge family. They are taking care of, like my mom is helping me with all my food. My sisters are helping me with other stuff. And like there are many family members there who are like working their part. But when you are out of that circle, then you have to do it all by your own. So I like never kind of done my dishes before, and I need to learn that. I had never kind of cooked before, and I need to learn that. So those were the thing that kind of I need to learn in terms of staying out. But even also there was also a emotional trauma that there was no one directly I can talk to people and talk to, and there was these kind of difficulties were there. But there was something in clear in my mind that I want to change this perspective that coming out of a remote village or small village, you cannot do by yourself. So those were like a kind of motivation to keep going and overcoming all this small barrier, I would say now.
Nice. So the motivation, as you said, was clear that you want to establish guidelines for the students or for the aspirants who thinks that just because they are in a small village and they don't have facilities, so they can't do wonders. But how I see and how I believe that our audience will agree with that, that when they will check your profiles at LinkedIn and you see your achievements, then they'll say, yes, this is possible. So when you had this motivation, you had all these hurdles, which you successfully like surpassed with all the flying colors. What do you, if you have to share, if you have to share your experience with our aspirants and then saying that what can be done or what they can use or utilize from your experience?
So I would say like first you should need to reach out to the people, and we cannot choose our families. So they were given to us, but we can choose our friends. And that's the point that you should work on. You should choose your friends whom you can progress, whom you could kind of grow, rather than the people who are pushing you down. So choose your friends wisely, make good circle, and always try to see how we can kind of continue getting better for the things that we are doing. So the biggest kind of I would say um, biggest kind of my achievement, if I see like in going back all these years, I would say those were I was making right decision to being friend with the right people.
Very good. And I think everybody agrees that friends are the key to success of anyone. And you also just outcasted it, like outshowed it, showcased it. How about the people who just, as you said, that some people are trying to pull you down and then you still study with your head. And but what in a person you think that they should be more dedicated or they should be more moldable, or what are the personal qualities you talk you suggest that they should work on more?
I mean, I don't want to talk about the people who are trying to pull you down. Just ignore them. Ignoring is the best way to go ahead with them. But let's talk about the people who are actually helping you to go next. So focus on people who are appreciating for the thing that you do positively and who are criticizing you for the thing that you did not do very good. Mm-hmm. So you had to have like a kind of check boxes in your circle who said, oh, this is a thing that you could do better. And this is, we are not expecting this to do it. And if you want to go next, these are the kind of suggestions from us. So your friends are the real mentors in this case.
Nice.
So focus on the people who are kind of criticizing you for a thing that could be done better, or appreciating you for something that you have really done very good.
Absolutely. Well said. Ignore the people who criticize you, but just focus on your friends who support you. But what if the friends are supporting you in a way that you might have some qualities and then they are boosting? And how do you see that as a question?
I mean, this is also your judgment, what they are helping you, what they are kind of giving you. So you also know this is something that I'm really doing very well. You also know yourself, and this is just kind of a validation from your friends. So, I mean, everything comes down to your own level. How do you see yourself, and is that validated by your circle?
Okay. So okay, let me see. When we talk about Dr. Dhanda, and if he has to name 3 top people who he says or who he believes that are the person who are milestones in his achievement, who are those 3 people?
Milestone in their achievement. So I can name anyone whom I met or didn't met, right?
Yeah, no, I think yes. Here the question is, when you met these people, or it's nothing to do with just the professional life, but you'd say that they were there. That's the reason why you are here today.
All right, sure. Thank you. I mean, that's I would like to start with my family first, because those were the things that I got from them. And in my family, which was headed by a woman. So my mother, so I'm calling her mother because she did not give birth to me, but we were in a joint family, and she was my like aunt, and but we lived together for all our life. And she was more than a mother to me. So she is the one person whom I see as a strong leader, and who has given all these qualities that I think I'm appreciating it now that I was not appreciating that time. Unfortunately, she's not anymore with us, and I miss her every day. So she is the one whom I kind of inspire. I got inspiration from. So she was the like woman leading in a patriotic society, educating her children, not her children, but like the joint family, the children whom she did not give birth to. So she was raising all the kids in the family to a level that they will never kind of do anything negatively to the society. So they will not bring up the things that will put shame to their family, and they will be confident in doing something very good. So should not be afraid if you are doing something good. You should be go positively with it. And she had never been to college or school, but she was kind of having the leadership quality that was not even taught in all the best management colleges. So I would like to name her first, and then I would like to name many people. Like there were many friends or many people, and in professional career, I am like got much inspiration from Dr. Kalam. So Dr. Kalam is something that we all Indian look up to, and not only Indian, but I think worldwide people are appreciating the journey that man had. And he also started from a very remote village and could make it to the president of India. And he is the like real president of people who was connecting to people, talking to students, making their journey easier to give his guidance. So I also appreciate kind of the thing that he has done for our country and for the student worldwide. And the third person I would like to name is I mean, there is no one person. I would like to pick all my friends community as one. So as a friend, if I just call them a single person, so those were the third person I would be picking, and to help me in my journey. So there were different friends at different time point. Like in my school, there were different friends. In my college, there were different friends. In my university, there were different friends. And then in my journey onwards, there were different friends. So every time I had at least someone I can trust and who can motivate me. So I'm hesitant to just name one because I'll be disappointing so many people. So let's combine them in one and say a friend.
I think
A friend was there always.
Absolutely. Well said. I can see. So we have talked about your journey from your village, the struggles you had on like personal basis, and then how you overcome all of that. How about if you can walk through us, because I know it's a lot to ask about your career of over a decade now, starting from your PhD to reaching here, changing so many different research areas. For our audience, if you have to describe your work in the most simplest way, which is tough, I can understand. So let's hear from you.
All right, thank you. And talking about my research journey, so I did all my like bachelor's and master's in biotechnology, and that was a time like I was intrigued about knowing more and more in this life science field, and there I chose to continue my PhD in bioinformatics. In bioinformatics, I would like to like pick this field because I see even on the basic computer with very minimum resources, you can help understanding the fundamental concepts in biology and life sciences. And for that, it was new for me because I never kind of learned programming and all. And that's why I got to learn all these things, the technical stuff of bioinformatics in my PhD. And then I continued the same journey. I was doing my PhD in Institute of Microbial Technology, Chandigarh, in kind of joint PhD program with Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi. And once I had my PhD from there, I was much confident in kind of in bioinformatics because I did PhD with Dr. GPS Raghava, who is a well-known bioinformatician in India. And I'm really fortunate to get PhD with him. And from there on, and now I have like kind of a career path. I can continue this journey in bioinformatics. And I chose to kind of going for postdoc, and I got a match with La Jolla Institute for Immunology in San Diego, California. And there I was working on some concept of immune epitopes. So in bioinformatics, you can apply bioinformatics in very different angles. So what I was trying to understand is how you can apply this bioinformatics knowledge in immunology. And immunology is a science where we are understanding our immune system, how we are reacting to certain disease, how we are kind of protecting ourselves, not getting disease, or how we can develop better vaccines. So these are the things we could do with the help of immunological understanding. And I was working on this bioinformatics method, how you can design better vaccine candidates. So even before being tested in the mice or being tested in the rabbit or being tested in the humans, we have a computational system to find out the best candidate so that we don't kind of go for 1,000 different possibilities, but we pick the one that we are more confident with. So all my research journey in my PhD and my postdoctoral training was about how you can design better vaccine candidates, how you can kind of find out the smallest part in a pathogen, which is enough to give us immunity against it. So let's pick any pathogen. A pathogen is deadly for us, but it is deadly when it is coming as a whole. But if we pick only a small fragment of it, which is good enough to activate our immune system, then we can just only pick that particular segment, the fragment from the pathogen, activate our immune system against it. So whenever this pathogen is kind of encountering in our body, we already have our immune system built up. So our immune system could fight better. And that is the fundamental base of vaccines. So my PhD and postdoctoral training was about how precisely we can find out those fragments and how confident we would be picking those confident, how much knowledge we can add to each part, each component in the small fragment of the pathogen.
So then can I say that you guys are the brains behind all the clinical trials and successful vaccines? Because even before any testing, you are the one who gave that candidates.
I would not say just me, but there are people who are the brain behind it, who are giving the initial hit. So initially, like there were a random hit and trial, but because of that random hit and trial, a knowledge is generated, and we are kind of categorizing that knowledge in bioinformatics methods so that next time you don't do many random experiments, you do precise experiments.
So how do you see bioinformatics coming up with what has happened in world with COVID?
Yeah,
What do you say?
so biotics has really done remarkable. So not only in just vaccine design, which I'm more confident and more kind of confident to keep talking about, but other than that, biotics has done kind of a huge contribution in tackling this COVID-19. And let's say for any pre-existing immunity that I could talk about, how certain people were having immunity against it as it was even a new pathogen, why some people were immune to it. So because they had some kind of fragments from different pathogen that were matching with this new pathogen, and that's why the immune system that was generated against those is effective against this COVID-19 as well. So that was pre-existing immunity. We could do it just because we have the biotics method to determine this. And all the drug repurposing, like certain drugs were approved for one disease, but they could easily be kind of given to COVID patient. And those kind of knowledge is also derived with the help of biotics method at the back end. And talk about, let's say, this stats model or the computation model, how it's going to have peak, when it's going to have peak, how many peaks would be there, when the new variants is coming up, what are the new variants, how many different mutations are there. If you go in the underneath layers of it, you will see everything is biotics, and every role there is some biotics.
Very good. So what I can understand from this conversation is, I'm sure that there are so many sleepless nights when you are just working or you let the machine work, but in somewhere in your brain it is still running, that you are expecting the data, or you are looking forward to. How tough or how easy it is to maintain the work-life balance being a bioinformatician?
I think work-life balance is a personal nature. So you has to decide where you want to give your time to. So if you are so much focused on something and you are not giving equal importance to your family or your friends, then you might be a good scientist, but you will be missing out many things that other people are enjoying.
Okay, so that being said, this is the series which we are starting today, our researcher celebrity, and you are the first one. How you grade yourself as like maintaining this balance and enjoying what you have and looking forward what you want to do?
So first of all, as I said, in the three people I have chosen two people, like friends and family in those. So and one of them is from Korea, like Dr. Kalam. So you have seen I was speaking the family and the friends as well in my journey. So this is how you will do it. And every time when you have certain responsibilities toward family, you have to be there. It's not just you can skip those because you are working on something really important. Yes, you have to work really important stuff, but you have to manage time accordingly. And I would not say that it's easy. It's difficult, but with time, you have to kind of prioritize those things and give equal importance to the family and friends as well.
So here I would like to tell our audiences that, as pointed out by Dr. Dhanda, it is very important for maintaining the work-life balance. Your families and friends are the stones which are there always. I will say milestones. Sorry, I just said that. So they are the milestones. They are the anchors which gives you whatever you want, the positivity, the help. And I think from this conversation, what I can understand is these are the two pillars which everyone should have. And as Dr. Dhanda said, family is not just like a small group of people. And the inspiration needs not to be just within family or friends, as he pointed out, Dr. Kalam, as one of his inspirations. But when you are inspired and highly motivated, and the failures come, the hurdles come, sometimes, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think failures are a part of journey. If you are not have seen the failures, then you will not be having enjoying the success as well. So I think accept the failures, try to see what could have been done better and why did it go wrong. So try to evaluate the situation. So you had to always just check that this was a thing that I wasn't doing very good, and that's the reason of my failure. And if there is failure, even after your best attempt, just accept it. It is the way it is. You should not worry about anything when you have done your best.
As I see you as a leader, as a friend, as a mentor, I believe that there are more opportunities which you can give to our audience. Whosoever want to contact Dr. Dhanda, they can either contact him directly or through ESF, whatever the way you want. But as I was just going through your profile, you are teaching students. Also, you are giving them bioinformatic courses and initial short courses or trainings. Would you like to say something about dollar education, which I think you are one of a speaker in?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for bringing this point up. And this is also related to my journey as well. And as I was pointing it out, because there were not many people in my family whom I could reach to for the guidance. But there were friends. And that's the point I want to connecting it. Friends could be a family when you are trying to reach them out. So you can be friends with so many people. And connecting this link further, I'm trying to fill out the gap that I have seen in my career, that there was a lack of guidance. There was a lack of proper training. There was a lack of someone who can mentor us, right? So I'm in a situation that I was kind of fortunate to find a path from here and there, but I don't want everyone to go through those hurdles that I have already been through. So making their life a little easier, I'm trying to kind of talking my experience or sharing the skills that I have gained, or sharing all the experience or journey. And one of the initiatives that you mentioned is dollar education. In that, I could actually deliver what I know, and so that people could connect to it, or they can learn what I was doing, how I was doing. Or there are other speakers as well, so who are also sharing their journey and see how they can help student not only in India but worldwide.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dhanda, for taking this precious time out of your busy schedule for us. And I would like to request all the audience, whosoever have questions, either they can just Google Dr. Dhanda, who he is one of the top researchers in on Google, as you can see. And he is the celebrity of ours. He is our first distinguished celebrity to start this. And we will be posting the video